The dog was dying of thirst. The river was right there. So close, yet it couldn't take a single sip. Its heartless owner had chained it up tightly. The dog couldn't move an inch. The poor dog could only wait quietly for death to come. However, just as the dog was fading away, two kind-hearted boys spotted it. They stepped forward and unfastened the chain. Before the dog could even thank them, it immediately rushed to the riverbank. It finally drank its first life-saving mouthful of water. After this narrow escape, the dog began its life as a stray once more. Hungry and desperate, it arrived in a small town. Suddenly, the dog saw a group of its own kind foraging by a dumpster. It wanted to join them, but a one-toothed dog immediately glared at it menacingly. The dog didn't dare get close. Luckily, their leader, a kind-hearted chihuahua, accepted the dog successfully. It finally got to eat its first full meal, led by these local dogs. The dog quickly won the affection of dog lovers in town, who started feeding it food from their homes. The dog also learned from the one-toothed dog how to scavenge for food in trash cans. It never went hungry again, but good times never last long. When evening came, its companions all returned to their respective owners, but the dog alone had no home. It had nearly been killed by a homeless man before, making it hard to trust unfamiliar humans now. To find its one true owner, the dog had to say goodbye to its friends and continue its life of wandering. However, the journey home was far more difficult than the dog had imagined. Before it knew it, 2 winters had passed. The dog was still wandering alone in the remote mountains. It couldn't find the way home at all. To make matters worse, a pack of wolves had long seen the dog as easy prey. They had been following from a distance. The dog sensed the danger creeping closer. It was terrified inside, and could only bark incessantly to scare away its fear. One day, the dog caught that familiar scent of danger again. The persistent wolf pack finally couldn't resist making its move. They cornered the dog on a mountain path full of cliffs and steep ledges. Facing the fierce wolves, the dog stood no chance, but its longing for its owner pushed it not to just give up. So it barked loudly, trying to intimidate the pack and drive them away. Yet the wolves didn't care at all. But just as the dog's life hung by a thread, the wolf pack suddenly halted their attack. Not far away, a fierce and robust adult mountain lion was staring at them coldly. Before the wolves could even react, the mountain lion leaped into their midst. The wolf pack soon fled in disarray, and it was at this moment the dog realized this mountain lion was actually the kitten it had once raised. Who would have thought it had now grown into a big cat? They affectionately pressed their cheeks together, nuzzling incessantly, their expressions full of concern and longing for each other. Then, the mountain lion carefully licked the dog's wounds, its eyes filled with heartache for its mother. Under the mountain lion's protection, the dog no longer feared the dangers of the jungle. It didn't even have to worry about food anymore. But the dog did not belong in the jungle, because the promise to its owner was deeply engraved in its heart. A firm belief told it must go home. Before parting, they placed their front paws together, reluctantly nuzzling cheeks, unwilling to part. The mountain lion didn't understand why its mother was so determined to leave, but it still respected her choice, because in the mountain lion's heart, its mother had bravely protected it regardless of her own life, facing all kinds of dangers with strength. This made it admire her immensely. It silently blessed its mother in its heart, hoping she would soon find her owner. Its near-death experience with the wolves made the dog realize that to find its owner, it must go to where people live. Late at night, the starving dog walked down a deserted street. Suddenly, it caught the smell of roast duck. Following the delicious aroma, it excitedly burst into a supermarket. But just as it tried to snatch the roast duck from the counter, it was spotted by the store manager. Thus began a chase between man and dog throughout the supermarket. In no time, the supermarket was left in a disastrous state, as if it had endured an apocalyptic catastrophe. Finally, the dog seized the chance to grab the roast duck from the floor and escaped. Once outside, it eagerly devoured the meal. It had finally eaten a full meal again. The dog finally made it to the city where its owner lived. But just as it was crossing the street, a reckless car sped by, hitting the dog hard and knocking it to the ground. It lost consciousness instantly. Yet, a voice deep inside screamed for home. It couldn't give up now, not when it was so close to seeing its owner. After a while, summoning its fierce will, the dog struggled to its feet. Dragging its injured leg, it continued toward home. After 3 long years, over 1,100 days and nights, and a journey spanning more than 700 kilometers, the dog finally returned to its old home. It eagerly pawed at the door and barked wildly. All it wanted was to leap into its owner's arms, to pour out all its grievances and longing. But when the door opened, it saw only a stranger's face, and after entering the house, the dog realized everything had changed. There was no trace of its owner's scent anymore. It finally understood its owner had moved away, to a place it did not know. The dog's heart shattered. It had endured countless hardships to get home, only to be met with this outcome. The dog had no strength left. It just wanted to lie down on the rug where it used to sleep and rest. But reality was cruel. The woman soon called the police, who promptly chased the dog away. Enduring the sharp pain from its broken leg, the dog limped along the street. Suddenly, it remembered the veteran sanatorium where its owner used to work. A flicker of hope ignited in its heart. Its heavy steps lightened a little. After several hours of travel, The dog finally arrived at the sanatorium's gate. The old veterans who saw the dog stared in disbelief. The dog had been very popular at the sanatorium back in the day. Whenever a veteran felt down, it would understandingly rest its head on their lap to comfort them. The dog's presence had brought them much joy. They thought those happy days would last forever. But an accident led to the dog being caught by dog thieves. Everyone thought it would never return. They couldn't believe their eyes. The dog lost for 3 years had actually found its way back. No one knew what hardships it had endured along the way. Emotionally, they all stepped forward to pet it. But the dog wasn't happy, because there was only one person it truly wanted to see.